You know I am. All right, let's go over to that other place. And it should say we're connected.
It says we're live on here.
Okay, I'm waiting for Instagram to get. There we are. Now we're good. I hit you have to hit the go button on it. Even though you're seeing it, you got to go over there and hit that button. And we got that button that said live and recording. And so I'm sticking to that story. So there we go. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to Testosterone Tuesday, kind of the goofiest 50 minutes we have on streaming online with a couple of my buddies. And sometimes we have females on because girls, you have testosterone too. I just want to make sure that you understand that. And we have some of them other hormones. And when we're out of whack, our estrogen takes up a little bit of room. And so we're gonna start out today is the 14th of July, and it is James's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Yay. So it looks like it's the Polished Head Convention tonight.
Hey.
And I'm your host, the Metabolic Grandpa. So we're going to talk about some of the hidden killers, and we're talking about stress and sleep and how they affect testosterone. And guys, what time did you go to bed last night?
Just after 10, I think. It was like 10:15, 10:10.
James?
2 something.
2 something. Whoa.
Yep. I don't sleep very well.
So it's kind of a stressful short night for you. And did stress follow you to bed last night?
That's honestly been kind of the norm for me for quite some time.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. I don't think it's. I don't know that I push towards stress with it. I've been prescribed some stuff to help me sleep, but I refuse to take it. I'm trying to work it out myself, but
sure.
I don't have an explanation. I just
I was down that road a few years ago. Well, probably 5 years ago now, and
right.
I took them, didn't do anything. Of course, they just upped the dosage until it was maxed out, and then I would sleep through waking up in the morning, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that got really old, and I went, yeah, no, I'm done taking this, because if I can't even feel having to get up, needing to get up,
yeah,
I'd rather need to get up and not sleep.
Perfect. So I'm George Villian, the Metabolic Grandpa, and we help men over 50 take back their health, energy, strength, and drive in manhood. Tonight we're going to be talking about the 2 silent destroyers that are stealing our testosterone while we are alive. Now, quite candidly, we were joking a minute ago, but both these guys have already been on the table and gone and have come back. I tried to get there. It's not a contest. But both these guys, we're talking from experience. So we're not giving medical advice. We're not giving diagnostics. We're not doing anything like that. We're talking on personal experience and things that we continue to learn. So did you guys know that poor sleep impacts your testosterone? Did you ever think about it?
I never did. But I know that is a fact.
And so that connection, that low T is connected to that little bit of sleep. And so there's some early warning signs, but how does it affect your guys' mood? Did your sleep, lack of sleep, did that ever affect your mood?
Oh God, yes.
For sure. Yeah.
I became that bitter old guy that I feared.
You're the get off my lawn guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
But did you ever James, I'm sorry, James.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it definitely made me grumpy, a little irritable, if you're walking around tired, sleep deprived.
Now, did you ever put the goulash together and thought that, sleep and your mood and testosterone were all in the same goulash pot at all?
I mean, I'm aware that, yeah, that all factors in.
I
Now
wasn't
we are.
aware of the testosterone side. I was aware, obviously sleep and mood. If you're tired and grumpy, I always knew that kind of went hand in hand. I'd been like that for many moons.
Was that accepted normal? Was it I'm getting older, or what
That's
did you
where I
chalk
took
it
it.
off to?
That's where I took it. It was just, oh, I'm just getting older.
And you were 40?
Yeah, I was in my mid 40s when it really started cracking down. I mean, obviously, yeah, the younger years, it wasn't as aggressive. It started, you'd wake up and not feel like that you didn't even sleep, or you'd toss and turn. And then as other things progressed, I was up all night doing other things that I probably was hoping I shouldn't have to do. And, going to the bathroom. And I was lucky at one point to where I'd get 2 hours of sleep, 2 hours consecutive. And I took that as a win.
Yeah, I get that. I still operated for decades on the idea. I call it sleep fast. 4 hours is good. I mean, I'm just like, I go to bed, I crash, I'm done. Don't bother me for 4, and I'll be good. That was my. If I got that, I was good to run. Good to run. John, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Did you know it's James? Did you know it's James's birthday?
Is it?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
And he's 55.
Happy birthday, James.
Keith's 55.
Thank you.
And you're what, 42?
No, 47.
47. I hear Catherine back there cackling.
Yeah. Yeah, she's having a hay fit with it.
So we're talking about sleep patterns and testosterone and stress. And so, I spent years believing feeling tired was normal, and I thought low energy was just getting older, and I thought stress was part of being a man, right? And then I learned something that it wasn't normal. It's hormonal warfare. You want to change your life? Have a sip.
Right.
So we're coming back on this. So when we start looking at it, guys, what changed for you both, all three of you? What changed in the world to help you get more control of your stress, get more control of your sleep? Now, James, you're telling me you're at 55, you're still sleeping like a 35-year-old. But Keith and John, how about you guys? How's sleep going? With what do you guys do to get more sleep? And are you seeing that it's affecting your mood, and is it affecting your stress? And give me a circle here, guys.
Total night and day change for me, George. Like I said, I'd eat dinner, fall asleep, wake up 2 hours later, go to the bathroom, go to bed, wake up 2 hours later, go to the bathroom, go to the bed. And it was like that all night long. And I woke up grumpy. I woke up tired, and it just nothing ever seemed to get better. And now I lay down at 10 o'clock, and I'm not up till 6:30 most days till the next day.
Well, let's continue. Is that now a new pattern for you?
Yeah.
Keith?
Yeah, I used to never have to wake up to an alarm clock. Now I set one because I have overslept.
Don't you live in an area in Florida where they have chickens?
Yes, there's chickens. Not too many alligators, although there was one that got ran over a week ago.
Serious?
Yeah, on the interstate, because a friend of mine went to pick up the car, and
oh wow,
there was the gator, and it's like, yeah, would you like to have a flat tire? Be laying there changing your tire, and all of a sudden, oh, hello. But yeah, I mean, and even when I sleep less, I feel rested. I don't wake up groggy and be like, oh God, here we go again. I tend to spring out of bed.
Yeah. And one of the things about our sleep and stress is that there's a 90-minute cycle. And so if you can get through that, you fall asleep and you get that full 90 minutes, you've cycled through it enough that you can still get. That's why people don't know this, do they, John, that you hit the snooze button, all you did was screw up your entire cycle of sleeping. Because that's right?
Yeah, that circadian rhythm. I never realized how important it really is until I started doing this protocol. I mean, like Keith was saying, go to sleep, wake up a couple hours, go to the bathroom. And that was on and off all night. It didn't matter what night it was. No matter how hard I tried, that's what it was. And then trying to sleep through the day when you're trying to sneak a nap here, sneak a nap there, when you have free time. And you didn't make it regenerative, but it made it worse, in my opinion. Yeah. And then, so when you finally did crash, you crashed maybe 2 hours, but then you're waking up to go to the bathroom again. So it's like that vicious cycle over and over and over. Yeah. And like Keith said, I still set an alarm just because, like he said, I don't want to oversleep, because I will. Because once I zonk out now, man, I stay asleep until I either get up or my alarm goes off.
Yeah. Yeah, I concur with that. So, James, you're kind of our need a lullaby plan.
I'll tell you what, I have that engineer brain. I lay down at night, and if I've got anything going on, I sit and assess it and do it in my mind over and over and sit and overthink it. And I've always been that way, quiet time's my time to plan and think and strategize, and to the extreme, till it affects my sleep.
And you're an engineer, right?
Was.
So all you think about is how things fail. How can I tear it apart? You got,
there's a few different aspects of it, but if I've got anything going on, I do it 100 times in my mind before I ever start on it. Okay. And it doesn't have to be anything complex. It's just how my mind works. I mean, if I was planning to clean the house tomorrow, I'd probably do it in my head tonight, instead of sleeping. I mean, that's just that silly. I don't know why it is.
Just okay. Now, when you wake up, when you do fall asleep, about how many are you getting? Like 4 hours of sleep a night right now? Is that part of your schedule? 2 hours?
Well, I'm retired, George. I don't have a schedule. If I don't sleep good tonight, I make up for it tomorrow in the morning. I get my sleep in. It's just a matter of whether it starts at 10 or starts at 2. I get me 6 to 8 hours, I'd say.
All right, very good. Okay, I'm good with it. I was concerned. I thought you're squeezing it into an hour or two.
Hey, George, have you noticed that the guys that are retired are bald?
It comes with a price.
Right, got to be that way, John.
Because I'm being counterproductive and I'm eating M&Ms.
That's the solar power for something else, buddy.
Oh, that's right. So here's the question. Now that you guys we've started the protocol, we started the 3-step protocol, the comeback plan, is sleeping becomes easier, doesn't it? And it's more restful, and we get more of it. So let's talk on the other side of it. James, it's your birthday. Did you wake up this morning with a good mood and I'm excited it's my birthday, or like, oh God, it's my birthday?
No. I mean, since I started on the protocol, life is good. I mean, I'm not grumpy. I'm not upset. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm way better than I was, over a year ago before I started all this. Yep, no complaints here. And I woke up happy this morning, man. Every day, every year going forward is a bonus. I mean, I'm just happy to be here.
So let's go look at it this way. So when you guys since you found the protocol and now there's less stress, when something does come up, how do you handle what normally would have been a stressful situation? I mean, have you looked at things like, I used to be upset about that?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean,
I've said it before, I make that guy on the Snickers commercial look like a saint compared to what I used to be. Before the protocol, I was always ornery. I was this, that, and this. Now I look at it like you said, that got me upset because yeah, I would be just irate, flipping tables, chucking chairs, tossing people, you name it. So yeah, it's
Let me
Yeah,
tell
amazing
you.
what this
I mean,
Let
protocol
me
does.
tell you
exactly
a little
what.
story.
Oh, go ahead.
I was probably 40, 42, somewhere in there. I was out, and this was when I lived back in West Virginia, and I was out working on I think it was my tractor. And the way I used to handle things is I'd get mad and cuss and spit and kick, and you can picture. I'm working on my tractor up next to the road, and I lived in a subdivision, but it was acreage, not lots. And so, there was distance between me and the neighbor. And I'm up there underneath that tractor and I'm cussing and acting just stupid. Nobody around but me now, and throwing stuff. And I crawl out from under the tractor and I look up, and two of these women, elderly women that live in the subdivision, was out walking. And they were about 15 feet from me when I crawled out from under there. And both of them's eyes looked like, silver dollars looking at me after listening to the fit that I was throwing out there. And embarrassed to no end, needless to say, that I was acting that way in front of two elderly church-going women, and that really made an impact on me at that point. And I made a conscious effort to change how I was dealing with frustration and things that didn't go my way at that point.
You know,
I remember when I realized that I was a little bit out of whack when I'd start arguing, and I was arguing out loud with myself. Just like, like, what the flying horse? It's like, how do you just? Then who are you talking to? Myself.
having a staff meeting.
Yeah.
Well, what
Have
I
a
learned
personality.
was I could have an issue, especially if you're ever dealing with farm equipment and implements and stuff. Something's always breaking down. And I could throw a fit, get mad, cuss, spit, act stupid, then fix it, or I could just go ahead and fix it. You know what I mean? So just with, I guess, age and maturity, I got to the point where I expected something to happen, and I just fixed it and saved all the theatrics. It didn't help anything. It just, I don't know if it made me feel better or what, but I just decided to let that part go and go ahead and take care of what needed to be addressed.
Perfect. Here's the question, guys. Before we found the protocol, what did you do for stress relief? And now, after, what do you do for stress relief?
I would stress eat. In my 20s, I would stress drink. And since the protocol, my stress level went from here to here. When I got sick, I was stressed to the max. And I look at things differently now. I don't necessarily, they come at me, but it's more like I'm rubber, you are glue. It bounces off, and I just don't get nearly as irritable. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all have our moments, but they are few and far between than they were before it was an everyday occurrence.
Okay.
Whereas now it's not.
So, John, what was your stress releases before, and what is it now?
And where do I start? Stress release before the protocol, go shooting, go to the gym, wrestle people, throw people. I mean, you name it. Ride the motorcycle, all that fun stuff. And then it got to the point where the health wouldn't let me do it. I wasn't strong enough to keep the motorcycle up. I wasn't strong enough to pick people up and throw them in the ring, or even just go to the gym and lift the weights. After a while, I got to the point where I couldn't even pick up a certain amount of weight because I didn't have the strength anymore. And, to somebody was constantly, the big guy, the strong guy his whole life, that emotionally, that hit you. And, I didn't see it at the time because, I was in the mental stasis and all that. But now looking back on it, yeah, that was a big hit to me. And I never really, really, truly saw it. Now, heck, I can have the same things happen. Like, heck, I mean, just posted earlier today that my foot broke back open again. It was healed. and got a little pinhole prickser in it, and it's broke back open again. Luckily, it's not infected, but back in the past, I would have been irate or depressed or down in the dumps, and now I laugh at it now. It's like, okay, what challenge am I going to get next?
What's next?
It's
right?
yeah. What's next? What thing do I gotta overcome now to progress and grow? I guess we can say.
And James,
So
what
yeah,
about
it
you?
doesn't bother me now.
James, how are you or stressed before and after?
Well, before, I mean, my go-to was just to get mad. I got mad and I'd, just get all huffy and puffy and let it eat away at me. And now I don't. If there's a significant problem that comes along, Andrea and I talk about it and work it out, and it's not so heavy to me. My problems could have been the same problem as in years before, but now they don't seem so big to me anymore. And I don't carry it with me. I don't dwell on it. It'll work out. We'll take care of it. Just much more laid back, stress free. I can breathe. You know how it is when you get all mad. I mean, now I can breathe. It doesn't stack up.
Touching on what James said, George, is once you come back, you reevaluate a lot of things, and you start prioritizing, and stress just isn't one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
But a lot of people can say it's because you saw the light, sir. You saw the light.
Yeah.
I have flashes of
Right.
Yeah. So I used to, when I would get back in the day, if I got stressed, I was a guy. I internalized it. I just kept swallowing it, as it were. And my one stress release was racquetball. I played racquetball competitively, and I would melt holes in a glove per day type of thing because I was a diver. And I'd compliment you if you hit it well, but I'd really be mad because if you beat me, because for unforced errors, it was always my fault. If you were better than me, great, I'm happy for you. But if I lost, and usually that's how I lost, other than like I played the number 8 player in the world and the number 1 player in the world, okay, I'll take a beating there. But it's like, doggone, it's unforced errors. And so food was one of my things, and drinking. I'd never drink just to get at an adjustment in my head. I just drank. It wasn't like we're gonna go to that. It was just more eating and more eating. There's just more something going in, and so that was part of it. And just that internalization. And I was always the calm guy, but boy, when I got so built up, there's times when in offices and businesses I had when the staff would say they'd come in Atlanta. They gave me the Atlanta phone book. They gave me like 4 of them, and I tore it in half and I tore it in quarters. I went through 3 of them. Just that was kind of getting that kind of thing out. I would need to escape, like James on going fishing. That's great escape. That just out there. Just give me that space. And sometimes you can't do that. But now it's like even easier. I mean, I don't have those sugar cravings like we had. I don't have the binges like I had. So those filling the gut up with all the empty calories and all that, I don't have to go grab a whole bag of candy bars, And now if I had a big bag of candy bars, I'd be looking at the kind I like, not just wrapping, unwrapping, wrapping, unwrapping, wrapping, unwrapping, that kind of thing. So how we deal with that is how we deal with a lot of things, isn't it? So one of the next things is that we start looking at how we're dealing with stress. Now you've got this side of it. Now you had the other side. What are warning signs for guys that don't know what we know, that their testosterone is being killed and robbed by sleep and and stressed.
Well, let's put it this way, George. I can walk into a wall with a hard on and I'll break my nose first. That is a good sign that you got insulin resistance and low testosterone.
So there's there's
Sorry
some
to be graphic, but
lead in the
easiest way to put
pencil.
it.
Lead in the pencil.
Yeah,
There you go.
that for me was the first telltale sign. That's when I started having it checked, and this went on for years. And it was okay. It was once, no big deal. Didn't think much of it, and then it just
It's
Right.
progressive, and we don't
Yeah.
think about it. It's never ever tied into insulin resistance.
No, it's chalked up to old age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
old age for a 44-year-old, 35-year-old. I mean, because you
Yeah,
guys,
mine started when I was 30, 33, 34, around there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Mine-
correct it until just a year ago.
yeah,
So,
and it's so unspoken. I mean, that's one of the reasons we talk about this, because sleep steals stress, diet steals stress, and it all leaves a trail of patterns. So one of the things that we talk about at this time, we're at 26 minutes in, is I like to have Keith talk about the electrolytes, because we are electrical bodies. And that's one of his favorite things. So I'll let Keith talk about it, and then I'm going to have James put his plug in for AFib.
Okay. The electrolytes are so important, George. Every cell, excuse me, every cell needs the magnesium, the beetroot, we need cholesterol to get the signal through our body. And if you're not feeding that and you're restricting that, you're restricting that electrical impulse, which slows everything down. It's kind of like treating it as using a telephone from the 1950s versus a cell phone today.
right.
I mean, realistically, that's what it comes down to. Before you're going from a fuzzy signal to a crystal clear, here's what we want to do.
Yeah.
And we use something, as all of us know, that's called Signal, that has all those vital nutrients to help with those electrical impulses, help your body maintain. I drink 1 to 2 a day every day. I know many others drink more, and many others drink less. It's everybody's body's a little differently, and then I couple that with salt,
Yeah.
which just intensifies and makes that work so much better.
Yeah.
So
And so, James, you're I remember they had the Widowmaker, and
Yes.
that means you've got some electrical impulses that are kind of funky on your heart, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was born with a birth defect, and that birth defect was, instead of having one electrical pathway, which we all are supposed to have, that tells our heart when to fire and how to fire, I was born with two. So, you can only imagine if both of those fired at the same time, how crazy my heart would beat. So, and I dealt with that all through my teenage years, up until I was about 30, and it got so bad that I had to address it, and I went and had an ablation. And the ablation was to get rid of the extra pathway, and it worked.
So tell us what an
It worked.
ablation is. A lot of people watching don't know what an ablation is. You hear
Well,
it, what is it?
An ablation is when they go inside of your heart into they map your heart, and they figure out where the rogue electrical impulses are coming from, right? With mine, it was pretty cut and dried. They'd already figured out that I had two pathways, and they go in and they do it one of two ways. They either burn a ring inside of that artery or that vein, or that, they encircle that area with, burning it with a laser or heat, or they freeze it, depending on the location it is. If they can't use heat, they'll freeze it. And what that does, in effect, is to cause scar tissue, because nerves can't, the electrical pathway, the nerves cannot go through scar tissue, right? So you
Okay.
more or less put up a barrier, you put up a wall, if you will. So they did that for me, and it worked. It corrected it. But as with many people, when they have some kind of a procedure done on their heart, it can lead to AFib. It's something they don't know exactly why, but it can cause an onset of AFib, and that
And what
caused me.
is AFib? What's
There
AFib?
again, it's
Atrial fibrillation.
it's electrical impulses coming in from somewhere other than that main electrical pathway you're supposed to have, which can cause most of the time your upper left chamber to flutter or beat in addition to what your heart's supposed to be doing. So I started having issues with that, and I battled that for quite some time with medication. And like anything, after a while, the medication they'd max me out on how much I could have, and it was just not controlling it. It didn't stop it; it just controlled it. So I had a second ablation up at the Cleveland Clinic, and that worked for a while. It made it better, but it didn't completely get rid of it. So, here I am back on another medication, and it was pretty good. Between that ablation and the medication, it was controlled pretty well. I could live pretty normally with it. And then, at 50, I had the heart attack and came back from that, and the AFib set in even worse at that point. Another cardiac event, more AFib. And
Yep.
I just told my doctor, I said, I'm through. I'm no more ablations, no more. I'm not going through this anymore. So they put me on another medication. It really didn't work. So I was really struggling with the AFib. I mean, to the point it was disabling me, from being able to live and do the things that I wanted to do or needed to do. And then introduced the signal, the Feel Great system, the three-step protocol. And then in addition, I have found the signal, and honestly, I have almost no issues with it now whatsoever, as long as I'm drinking the signal, and I do at least 2 of them a day. And it's like I don't have it now.
Yeah.
Awesome. And
One
Keith, you
one of the
found the same?
happiest times since I was brought back was the day my cardiologist said my AFib was gone, and she saw no reason for it to come back. And I know I'm assuming James did the same thing, wore a heart monitor 24/7 that reported all over the satellites, and the thing is, I didn't get diagnosed with AFib until probably 2 years or a year before I got really sick. And I don't know how long I had it. I know I'd had issues,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody ever mentioned that there was anything going on. Or, you get oh, I can't find anything. Oh, okay. And just kind of wrote it off at that point. And
But
Got
I'm
it.
telling you guys, to go from how it was limiting my abilities and shutting me down and controlling my life to now I hardly ever have any issues whatsoever with it, and I can do about whatever I want. I mean, do you realize how profound that is? I mean, for me,
yeah.
that's life changing.
Hmm.
I just can't sing the praises of this product enough for what and that's just one of the things it's done to me. But that in itself, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
everything.
I learn things maybe not every day now, but I notice things more where it's like, huh, I didn't
Yeah.
really realize that, like the food palette changing, the hair growing, some of this it takes a minute to put together.
It really does, and that it's gradual, and all of our bodies operate differently. It's a wonderful thing if you think about it. But and some of the hearts, the others, and John, you haven't had any heart issues, have you at all? At all from that?
Not for stuff like that, no. Years ago, I was told I might have a slight heart murmur, but that was it.
Yeah.
So,
And then look at started having where we also combine. So we have the electrolytes. So we have the electrical system kind of working pretty well. And then we start handling this, like you guys have all said, stress is easier to manage. Our gut our guts are allowing us to go. So now our hormones are working better. Our testosterone is more on the flow. I mean, you guys, all your testosterone levels are up. Are you, anybody taking shots for anything for that? No. So we're letting all of these things go what, naturally?
The only shots I take are from the internet.
Oh, wonderful.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. So, John, one of the things that when we start looking at people start talking about testosterone, they talk about muscles, and you are a resident go-to muscle guy. So, talk about the protocol or your stronghold or the proteins and that. Give us a moment on how the hormone testosterone and stress and rest and muscles all kind of combine.
Well, for years, I used to think that testosterone was linked to not enough protein, stuff like that, and then old age. But it turns out it really isn't. It's more connected to your cholesterol level because, your cholesterol is your building block for your sex hormones, for your whole body, basically. I mean, it's so important your brain makes its own cholesterol. So, a lot of people don't look at it that way. So if you don't balance your hormones out, of course, you're not going to have the right ones producing what you need to do to be healthy. So, I never once thought that cholesterol would be a key factor to keeping my testosterone high. So, starting the protocol, it helps balance your hormones out. It's helped balance the cholesterol, which then all of a sudden you start balancing all your other hormones, like for guys, testosterone, and keeps your cortisol low and all that kind of stuff. For ladies, it's your progesterone, testosterone, estrogen, you name it. So, I never put 2 and 2 together until about 8-9 months ago when I was really full blown into this and really dived into it. And then that's when I made the connection of, oh, heck, my cholesterol is going up. I'm feeling better. Testosterone's increasing. The serotonin's increasing. Heck, I'm getting better insulin sensitivity because, believe it or not, cholesterol is a building block for everything. And, we don't get taught that information.
No, so, you need to get your cholesterol lower. You need to get it lower. You need to get it lower.
That's all I heard after my heart attack. They honest to goodness, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I had a medical professional told me that ideally they'd like to have my cholesterol at 0. And my wife can vouch for that. She was sitting in the office when he told me that. And of course, her jaw hit the floor. But sure. Yeah, that's honestly said, ideally, he said, ideally, we would like for your cholesterol to be 0. He wanted me to be just absolutely dementia ridden, laying in a bed somewhere, not able to function. That's what they told me.
That's what would happen because people don't realize that cholesterol is the major key for your head.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they told me that.
Because it's the cholesterol is the brain. It is all of the sexual hormones. Cholesterol is involved in every cellular function. It's involved in every hormonal function. Yeah. And so, we the 4 of us and others of us have learned that, and we study that almost on a daily basis. And I would say one of the things, guys, if you think about this, let me ask you, vote on this one. One of the things that has helped my stress, and you guys can attest or not, is that we have actually a community of like-minded individuals with a mission. So it's something greater than ourselves. There you go. And the whole thing is that helps present value and resolution and another out and a sense of community. I don't know. I think it helps lower stress. I mean, we're in kind of stressful. We could be in stressful situations. What would have been in stressful situations? And we put ourselves there because we're putting ourselves out for criticism, right?
Yeah.
And when we choose to, because we have the passion to want others not to go down the path that we collectively have gone. But what do you think about that as a stress help moderator as well?
I definitely think, George, the community has helped by, you're not hearing your stress, but people are giving ideas on how they've dealt with things. And it doesn't necessarily take away the stress, but it provides you with a different way of looking at it and a different way of, something maybe you didn't see where you're like, oh, geez, to where you can look at it and be like, oh, okay, I get it. And I think it helps process a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. John, what do you think about that?
Well, stress is something that we all unfortunately deal with, and unfortunately you need it, because I'm not saying in a bad way. Stress is actually very good because it teaches you how to progress yourself and get that inner growth. But like Keith is saying, though, the community is very, very important, because I don't care who you are. Somebody out there is either dealing with worse than you have, or dealt with something worse than you have, or they're dealing with what you're dealing with, or they've dealt with what you're dealing with. So somebody out there has already been through it. And in this support community, there's people in there that have been through it, know how to get you through it, and are willing to help you get through it without charging you. They'll be a human being and talk to you about it and go, hey, this is what I saw with mine. This is how I got through it. Give it a shot, see how it works. And 9 times out of 10, it's very sound advice. It helps. Yeah. So
It's like a sounding board.
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely. I agree. So, guys, here's a question. What is the number one thing every man needs to know, and what they need to do for their hormones? What's that? What do you think? What would be the one thing that what? You're pointing.
Get rid of PMS, park motorcycle syndrome.
There you go.
That's my dad joke for the day.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Really, I mean, I spent my younger years stressing over some stuff where you look back at and you're like, wow, you know, is there going to be stress? Of course there's going to be stress. But you don't need to stress. If it's out of your control, it's out of your control. There's just no point in getting all up in arms and excited about what somebody else is doing, because if it doesn't affect you, then why are you stressed?
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's the simplest way I could put that.
Sure. John, or James, what about you?
Repeat what was the question that you asked?
What's one thing that you would tell every guy should know about what they need to do to protect their hormones, especially testosterone, from what we've talked about tonight?
Well, yeah, I mean, looking at it from a health standpoint, if you're doing the right things to control your hormones, to have a good, healthy testosterone, you have better health, you have better tolerance, you have better understanding, better health. Just, I don't know. I think it's made me be able to tolerate the stress and the knowledge to deal with it, from what John was talking about, the training and the education and the experienced people that we get to hear from, it just all goes hand in hand, good health, doing what you're supposed to, controlling your insulin resistance, and just being in a healthy space.
Yep.
All right, cool. So one of the things analogies, you guys know I'm all over the world and I come up with stories and ideas, but one of the things that I always thought was stress. A lot of times people drag that stress around, that worry around, so-and-so or this, that, and the other, and it's over and you're still stressing on it. And then so one of the analogies, and this isn't as bad as John's nose in the wall, but one of the things I used to think about is that I would talk to someone and say, "Do you ever fart?" Like, what?
Nope, never.
You never fart. You never flagellate. You never pass gas, right? Of course we do. Do you ever really save up? That was a good one, and put it in a jar so you can save it and come back at it? Of course not. So one of my things for stress is something happens but wants to be replayed, I go fart gas. Just let it go. Don't save it. Don't open up the jar. Oh, that was a real good one. Here's a 1964. That's all I got.
It's aged.
It's over. And so that's one of the, I know it's hard, but that's another way to look at stress, as well as doing the good things that we do. And we're not perfect, right? I mean, none of us are perfect. And even on the protocol, we even, I don't even know why we didn't call them cheating. I mean, like, we just enjoyed something that would have enjoyed before. We didn't enjoy a gallon of it. We just didn't enjoy the whole box of it. We can have some of that. And we know that, like we had some rhubarb pie the other day. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I had 2 balances, but ahead of it. But we can do that, right? I mean, it's a complex thing. So we're up against our timeline. And next week, just so you guys know, we're in episode 15. And if you want higher testosterone naturally, it's not just exercise, it's not just supplements, it's a complete formula. Next week, we're going to break down the 5 key components that rebuild testosterone, that boost drive, energy, strength, and reclaim manhood. So that's what we're covering next week. So I'll get the flyer out. I'll get the questions out. And did we miss anything today at all?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think we did great. And they've got a happy birthday boy.
Thank you.
And then we got the young man over here.
Who, Keith?
Yeah.
Hey, we're the same age.
Yeah, you and James and Keith are the same.
You're the
age
wee
now.
little guy.
Yeah. And then we got the youngster down there,
Right.
at the bottom of the what was that show? The Partridge Family or whatever it was.
Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares.
That was a Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch.
There you go, the Brady Bunch.
There you go. All right, guys. So love you. Have a great night. I'll see you on the next call.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys.